Hey everybody, this guy Jevron with Agentive Automations, and I wanted to get a unique topic that I've been messing with for the last few weeks. Building your own website and hosting it and running it using AI. It is possible right now. I've got a few sites not related to storage, but a few sites that we built completely with AI tools, and it's actually surprisingly easy to host them now and to modify them because you can do it with natural language. So what's the key issue here is that it is pretty tempting to use the free site that comes with your facility management software. A lot of storage owners see it as a hassle to run their own site, and it's very difficult to perceive the amount of work that's involved in actually hosting and optimizing and ranking a site. So they just go with the default. They don't have time to do it. I was one of them. I ran a storage facility for several years and a couple storage facilities for about 20 years. And it was not appetizing to me to actually start running the site, but it became a necessity because one thing that I saw was that all the free websites, they're structured the same. The meta tags are the same. The automated meta tags and meta titles is pretty much the same. And what I'm seeing now is with the proliferation of some of the free sites is that you can be in the middle of a medium to large city and you'll have 10, 20, 30 facilities using the same software, having the same site. And they're all ranking poorly because they're pretty much duplicating each other. And you see this with some of the main self-storage facility providers. So prior to AI, just within the last couple of years, it's very difficult to build a site, structure it correctly so that you can rank. And that's part of the issue is backlinks and PRs and everything like that doesn't work very well if your site is not properly structured. And just within the last few months, because of AI content, Google has really trimmed the amount of information that they will even accept on your site. And when I say that, what I mean is you can put all kinds of blog content on your site. You can put all kinds of pages, keyword stuff pages, keyword optimized pages. But if it even remotely related to another page on your site, Google's going to de-index that site. They just won't index it. They'll crawl it, but they won't index it. What we're seeing is really lean sites with bare minimum information and bare minimum pages on there is really ranking well. And it makes sense because you're not using a lot of Google's infrastructure. So with AI, you can create tons and tons of content in a very short period of time. And we're seeing that the indexing times from Google just keep stretching out. It used to be a week. Now it's then it was a couple weeks. Now it's almost a couple months before something gets indexed naturally. Of course, you can push that with different tools, but we're also seeing that the more information you have on the site, it's not better anymore. If you've got a lean, really easy, crawlable site with some schema and a good semantic structure, you're going to do really well. And you can do that using some tools. Now, the tools that we're going to talk about here, I try to keep it short. I'm not sponsored by any of these guys. I've just tested them. So some of the hidden costs, just like I'm saying, your identity crisis, you're pretty much the same. You have the same SEO as everybody else. You got the cookie cutter template, and then you got antiquated technology. Some of the ways that people are using the site in order to rent your unit, it just takes too long. There's too many clicks. There's too many times for the person to drop off. And if you're not capturing that information on the front end, you have no idea that you had a lead. You just see it in your analytics as a click. And there's technology out there that can definitely capture the lead, put it in a abandoned cart sequence, send it to your Slack, send it to your email, and let you know to follow up with that person. And then, of course, you've got the free-to-fee pipeline. Most of these facility management softwares, they put little effort into the template that they have on the front end, and then they say, we'll just pay us and we'll do the rest. And it's too late in the game to start doing that because there's so many sites out there that are using the same structure that you're pretty much competing, in essence, against yourself. So I'm trying to put this out there to see if we can fix that problem with AI, and I can just demonstrate. So I've got the complete freedom stack. So you get your site architecture, which I'm going to go over real quick. Then you got a prompt, which I'm going to show you. Then you're going to use one of these AI builders. You can use, there's a couple more out there. These are just the ones that I've tested. You can use Lovable, Replit, Google AI Studio, and then you're going to use a connector, which is going to be able to connect to your facility management software's API and pull that data, and then you can deploy it. GitHub is the repository for the code that the AI built, and you can host it on Google Cloud, or you can host it on AWS. And it's very easy to do that, especially with Lovable and Replit. They deploy right. You can host your site on these and deploy it with GitHub. And as far as ongoing changes, you just pay the small fee that these builders use every month, and you actually get some free credits as well. Or if you want to change something, you just go in there and tell it what you want it to change, and then update it on GitHub, and you're good to go. And StorSync, this is a software that we use to link the facility management software, and it updates itself. Your facility management software updates, and it updates the rental center on StorSync, and everything in here is connected. And I dare say quite a bit cheaper than some of the upgrades, the SEO upgrades that you're going to run into. So let's get to the first part, your site architecture. What we're seeing right now that's working really is lean and mean. This is it. These are the pages on your facility. So you got your about page, which talks about your facility corporation. This would contain your organization schema. Your contact page is pretty obvious. It's going to have the corporate contact. Your size guide, we actually build these size guides in Claude, and you can just go in Claude, tell it how many units you have, what those sizes are, and you can make your own size guide. I'll do that in another video. Then your FAQ page should match the FAQ pages, the FAQ information that's on your Google business page. Now, to relate your site geographically to your area, we like to use the main homepage is going to be optimized for the county and the city that you're in. And then you're going to look to your next 3 to 4 closest cities, and you're going to use the same county on that page. So this will give you geographical relevance, and you're just going to have a page for each one of those cities that talks about those cities and talks about your facility being close enough to serve at that city. And then you got your facility types. This should say, this is an error, just storage types. And these storage types correspond to the Google business categories that you have. So you might not have them all. So you got a Google business category for self-storage facility, storage facility, record storage. Climate control isn't a category, but we add it to all the Google business pages of the customers that have climate control. And then you got RV storage, and then you got automobile storage. And they're all linked together. You can see these are all linked to the homepage. There are all these lines represent that they're interlinked with everybody. And we do that with what we call a mega footer. So in the mega footer, we list all the pages, and then we link to each of them. So the entire site is interlinked. Each page is interlinked with one another via anchor text or a photo. And then we interlink it again with the mega footer. And you'll see that we also embed the Google business listing using the share embed in the page. So this is the site architecture that we're talking about. And then what we saw here, you got a prompt. So we have a prompt that we've used that is in markdown format, just talks about the role, you're a full stack developer. The goal is a multi-page SEO optimized site with modern minimalist user experience. And then you're going to use a simple structure. This just gives it, you can give it the colors, the style, clean, modern, with ample white space. You want it nice and clean. And then you got your constraints. It's going to talk about the navigation. It's going to be sticky. You can put your brand in here. And then the second part is the architecture itself, the page list. This talks about H1, H2, and H3s. If you watch the name of my videos, I got a specific H1 structure, and I'm going to do another couple videos about where I get the content for that structure, because there's some really cool tools that we've been using to do really good. This test page is just Syracuse, New York is the main page. And then we have the other city pages and service pages here. As you can see listed, you got our core pages, which is the size guide, the about us, and the contact. Then I got our metadata rules. Now the metadata rules, you can have this in the initial prompt, but this is also something that you'll refine with the prompt as you go. And you're also going to make sure that you got your sitemap built and your robots.txt, so that you can make sure that everything is crawlable. And then you get the execution. So you can see this is a 1.5 page prompt that we're going to use. And the next thing we're going to use is Lovable. Let's see here. So we got our AI builder. You can use Lovable. We use Replit. Google AI Studios are really working really right now. But we're going to stick with Lovable just because that's what I've got set up. We're going to take and we're going to go to Lovable. So you just go to lovable.dev. If you haven't got an account, sign up and you'll come to this here. This page is where you're going to enter the information about the project that you want to build. And you're just going to take this prompt and you're going to drop it in to Lovable. And you're going to hit start build. And what it's going to do is it's going to go, I'm going to hit enable notifications. And you'll see that it's thinking here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video while it builds this out and we'll see what it comes up. So it thought about that for all of 19 seconds. It says I'm going to build a modern SEO optimized storage facility with Kansas City blue branding, clean minimalist design, inspired by the reference site. And then like I didn't mention that before, but you can actually, if there's a site on the net that you can actually throw it in there and tell it to try and make it something like that. And it talks about the design approach, your implementation plan, design it, sticky navigation, mega footer, homepage hero, and rent now placeholder, city pages, core pages, meta tags, rulebox, TXT. And now it's building it. All right, so we're back. That took, I think it was about 5 minutes. And then it came back real quick. And this is what it goes over. It says, it tells you what it created based on the information that I gave it. It's the robot text, the site map, and then you got all the pages. And then part of my prompt is you don't want to give the AI too much to do at one time. So if I just puked out everything that I wanted on here and then gave it all the logos and images, it's going to get confused. So first we say just build out the site and then ask me for the next input. So we got real images, embed the rental now. I'll show you what we're going to do there. Add the Google Business Map, install the review widget, and then customize the content. We're actually going to do in another video because that I'll show you exactly where we get the semantic keywords and how we line them up for the H1, H2, and H3 tags, and then how to actually prompt. I use Gemini and Claude. I don't use ChatGPT as much. I just find that Gemini 3 and then Gemini Claude 4.5, I think they write better. That's my opinion. I know a lot of people are stuck with ChatGPT, but there's a few out there. So try them on. And then you can see that it came back and initially had a brief error. And then what you can say is just fix the error and it'll come back. It'll reevaluate. It'll tell you it sees the error, then it'll fix it, and then it's fixed. And then here is your preview. So this is exactly what we were looking for. It's a clean page. I'm going to show you where to get the rent now embed. And this is what we're going to use from StorSync. And then it talks about the individual amenities that we would have there. It's got our keyword placement I like using the county. And then it's got the different embedded pages, city pages right here. Like this will link to the city page. See how it's interlinked there. And then if you want to go through the different pages, you just click to the top here. And the page without any other appending to the URL is the home page. This is your Google Maps embed. I'll show you where to get that in another video. And then what our customers say, this is the review widget. We use Agentive reviews. I'll show you how to get that placeholder. And then here's your mega footer. This is where everything is interlinked. You got your size guide. I'll show you where to get that. Your about us, your contact us, and your home. These are all the pages on the site. They're all interlinked through the mega footer. You've got you can tell it. This is just a generic phone that I gave it. And you got your email and then your location. And you're pretty much good. We'll After we make this live, we'll take a look at the metadata, make sure it's the way we want it. And if it's not, we'll come back in here and we'll tell it to fix it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to give it, actually, I'm going to go to another tool that I like to use, and it's called Fal.ai. And the reason I like using this tool is because it allows you to use all the AI models without a membership. You just give Fal.ai some money, and it uses all of them. You can use Flux, you can use Sora, you can use Nano Banana, you can use them all for 15 cents. And I'll show you what we're looking for. And this is for somebody, we have a customer right now that we're working with that's actually building the facility, and he's got some architectural renderings, but he doesn't have any interior photos. So we're going to use Fal.ai to generate those interior photos. And I'll show you how we do that in just a second. All right, so we just went in there, added some money to it. You don't need a lot. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to Explore. We're going to use Nano Banana. So you're going to go to here, and then you can just select Nano, and you'll see it comes down here. We're going to do text to image. And the first one that comes up is Nano Banana Pro, which is the newest one. And the one thing I like about Fal is that it also has an API, so you can actually build workflows to build all your ad content. And we're going to put it in here. Let's see, I'm just going to say, I'm building let's see, we're just going to use, please create interior photos of a self-storage facility, a climate-controlled building. We need an interior hallway shot showing blue roll-up doors and white trim and white walls with a concrete floor. All right, so we got that. Let's see, white walls with a concrete. Aspect ratio, we'll just keep it 1:1, and then you're going to go additional images. So we're going to do 4 at one time, and then that's it. You're just going to click run, and Fal's going to do what it does, and you can see right down here, 15 cents per image. For $1, you can run this model about 7 times, and it's all 4K. And in another video, I'm going to show you how we actually use this to create our videos. You can use VO 3.1, the latest model, and you can use Fal.ai at a fraction of the price. It's actually like $10 a video versus like the $200 price tag. And you can use it as long as you got money on Fal. So we're going to let this sit here. I'm going to pause the video real quick and wait until this finishes. And I actually didn't have to pause it that much. So you can see here that we got interior photos of storage facility with blue doors, white trim, concrete floor. And we're just going to download them. Right to my computer here. There we go. I'm going to go back to Lovable. I'm going to drag it over. And part of the reason I like to use Fal.ai because it'll get rid of that little Sora and VO. They have those watermarks in there. All right. Now we're just going to say, please see the attached facility photos and insert them into the website as the self-storage facility photos. So we insert them, and we'll give it a minute. All right. Now you can see that if we scroll down here, it added the photos. Here's the photo. So what I did here when I went to Fal is I asked it for photos. There was an S. So what I just did is I went back in here and I said, give me a photo. And this should give me the single photos that I can use for the header. And then I'm going to ask it for another photo that I can use for the hero shot. And the hero shot is obviously back here. We've got our photos. And if you go to the bottom here and check the service pages, you can see that we got the photos there. And obviously we can switch that out. But this talks about the security, and this is great. It's got bullet points, facility features. It's got everything that I'd like. And then Let's see here. It looks like the only thing it didn't do would be the FAQ page, which we can add in later. But you're looking at the climate control. It's got climate control, temperature regulation, humidity control, airspeed. It's got all this stuff. The one thing that I didn't mention is that you can edit any one of these individually. You just go to this visual edits button here and just click on it. You can edit this. You can see this is an H2, which is exactly what I wanted. This is an H2. Here's your H1, which is perfect. So it's got the site structure they want. This is an H2. This is an H3. This is what followed the prompt, really strict. But you can just click on any one of these and ask it to change any one of these sections here, and it will do a great job for you. And then when you're done, you just click out of it. Back to the preview. Let's see if we got our, see how we got our single ones here. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to download these individually. That's pretty cool. And you see we got cameras. See, we got the fire line in there. That's crazy. It gets really, these are really good models. All right. Then we get out of there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the aspect ratio to 16:9. And I'm going to ask it to run again so that I can get some background pictures for the header images or the hero images. And then we're going to go back here. And while that's while that's doing that, we're going to actually talk about the rental embed. And what we're using here is a site called StorSync. And what StorSync does is it takes the native API integrations with your facility management software, and it creates just the rental portion so that you can embed it on any site that you want. So you're not trapped into using the facility management software or software website, and you don't have to switch platforms. So it's called a CRP. So it's a customer rental portal. It's a modern, clean design. They've got several different templates to choose from. It's fast, it's responsive, it's mobile first, and it's branded for each of your facilities. It's not just a generic one. And what it does is it's real-time data, syncs to your facility management API, works on any site. You can use custom coupon codes. The amenity showcase is designed to sync to your facility management software. So you just upload your amenities to whether you're using StoreEdge or SiteLink or Cubby, whatever it has in there, it will work on your site. Custom photo galleries, they provide photos for each of the storage unit, but you can actually use your own. It's mobile optimized, instant unit reservations. Like I said, it links to the storage facility management software API with smart filtering, embeds anywhere. And it's got an abandoned cart lead feature. So instead of miles and miles of clicks and forms to fill in when your customers rent, it's 2 sections. It will show you how that works. And once the customer gets past the first section, we've gathered their information so that we can follow up with them just in case they don't rent. And then you can see it works with WordPress, works with custom sites, all that good stuff. And the reason people love it because it's got higher conversion rates, and it will actually track. You can use UTM tracking parameters to actually show where your rentals are coming through. And what that particular part looks like is after you've customized it in their backend, they give you the iframe data. So we're going to take this and we're going to copy it, and we're going to go back to Lovable, and we're going to paste. We're just going to say in here, I have pasted here the embed for the, let me see what we called it here. Rent now embed placeholder. Okay. Rent now embed placeholder. Please use this and place it where the placeholder is. So we're just going to go back because I'm using a speech to text, and it will copy. So we're going to put it here, and then we're going to let it run with it. And now it'll take this and it'll put it right here. And then you'll be able to see what the rendering looks like. And while it's doing that, we're actually going to go grab our 16:9 photos so that we can use it in the headers. And this is just if you don't have facility photos. If you do, then use your own. Over here. All right, so there you go. So the color is off a bit, but that's just an adjustment we can make here. Give me 1 second, I'll make that adjustment. All right, so we just matched the colors to the facility colors, and you can see that the embed now shows. And this is the StorSync embed. Like I said, this particular one is synced to StoreEdge. And it just shows all these amenities are in the back end of StoreEdge. It syncs it right here. You don't have to change anything. They take care of it for that. They take care of that for you in the onboarding process. And then if you click the Rent Now button, you'll see this is the flow. So we haven't left your website. This is the flow right here. And you can see you'll see that it's got the prorated rate. And this is just our test facility, but it's got the prorated rate. It's got the insurance in there, and it's got where you referred to. If you're storing a vehicle, you click here and it spits out the vehicle information. It's got all your insurances here. Again, this is a test. And then it's got the credit card on the bottom. You click pay and it takes you over and you sign it. This is all jumps over in the StoreEdge's pay platform, and it jumps over into the e-sign. They've got a couple different templates here. Let me pause here and I'll show you the different template. This is another one of the templates that kind of switches up what's for you. You can add a header here instead of having one placed there, but it'll show what's sold out, what's for left. You can actually select whether you want to show sold out. Some people do, some people like, some people don't. And then same thing, you get the rental over here. All this is pulled directly from StoreEdge. You can put the store rate versus the web rate. And the same thing on the side here, you can see you can enter the coupon code if you've added a coupon code in StoreEdge, and it will do the calculation. And then you can add your driver's license, upload your you can require the customer to upload the driver's license. It'll show up in StoreEdge. And then you got your insurance selections, and then you just hit sign lease and the lease will pop up. So that's what really links the entire thing together, is the ability to continue to use your facility management software and all your processes and not have to, and you can own the site and the SEO. So that section is the rental section. So we replaced the iframe, and you can see the up-to-date information here. And then you can see that we actually have some decent size photos here. So we're going to go to our download folder where we had those photos, and we're going to pull that in, and we're going to drop it in so that we can get some decent hero images. So I'm going to drop that in here, and I'm going to tell it, please use this image for the background of the hero section. And then you're just going to, and that we're going to stop that because my mic didn't pick it up right. So we're going to drop it in. Please use this image as the background for the hero section. Beautiful. Now we're going to use that. And while that's doing that, we're going to grab, I think we need, we're going to use the business map embed. So we're going to grab just a random, we're going to go to Google Maps, and we're going to say, Sarah, can you storage facility? We're just going to see what pops up. So we're going to go here. All right, we got store space on Erie Boulevard. And where I get that embed is if you click on the map. So open in maps, and you see it right here, right there. I'm going to click on it, and you can see this information here. And then you hit share, and you see this embed part. You're going to copy that embed here. Control C, copy HTML, and you're going to go back into Lovable. And let's see if we fixed our hero image. And it did. Check it out. Yep, there's your hero image. Then you're going to go down here and you're going to tell it to Google My Business Map embed placeholder. So we're going to go here and we're going to say, we're going to paste the image, paste the HTML in there, and we're going to go back to the top. Please use this iframe HTML for the Google My Business Map embed. There we go. And then while that's doing that, we're going to go to, let's see what customers are saying. So this is our reviews widget, and we like to use Agentive reviews, which provides you with the review widget. And I'm just going to go grab one to put in there just so you can see what it looks like. Well, before I do that, let's see if it embedded. And there you go. And there's your embed. So this is how you link the site with your Google business page, is you actually embed the map in the Google business page. And if you want to get more advanced, you can embed a directions map. You can embed, there's 3 or 4 embeds that Google's providing now with the Google business page that you can actually put in here. And that is going to be huge in terms of SEO, and it's going to link with your schema as well. And schema is another whole video that we'll do. We'll do a full walkthrough and the tools we use to build the schema and how we build everything out so that you can use this as step 1 and then just step by step go through the courses that I have on YouTube and just optimize your own site. I'll tell you where we get our links and everything else that we do. So that's where you get your embed. Like I said, we use Agentive reviews for the reviews embed, and I'm going to pull one right now so that you can see what that looks like. All right, so we just grabbed a random review widget. So once you sign up for Agentive reviews and you connect it to your Google business page, it does a bunch of cool stuff. One of them is it gives you an actual widget for your homepage that updates with the, let's see if they have it on here, that actually updates with your reviews. But they also respond to the reviews and they request the reviews. They link in with your facility management software. So every time somebody moves in, it'll automatically request a review via SMS and email. And then once the review comes in, they'll respond to it. Then they'll send out, once they respond, they'll take the positive review and they'll turn it into a post, and they'll post it on your Google business. They'll post it on Facebook, all kinds of cool stuff. But one of the other things they do is they give you the review widget. Let's see if they got it here. But I'm just going to show you now. So once you get it, you're going to get a piece of code, and you're going to do the same thing here. You're going to put a couple spaces in there, paste in the code, and then you're going to add it here. I'm going to say, please place this iframe where, let's see where I put it. Let's see, reviews widget embed. On the review widget embed placeholder. And then you click there. It's going to take that. It's going to replace it. And then while it's doing that, we're going to look through the rest of the site and just see the difference. So you could we'll replace these images here. So what these images would be is, I would advise to go into Syracuse, Cicero, Manlius, or any of these cities that are around you and get Google embeds or Google photos. So they're Google hosted photos of the city, of the municipality, and then place them in here. And you could do that just the same way that we got the videos from Fal. You could do that, and you can actually put them in Fal to make them look better. And then let's see here, review widget is in there. Let's see, this one may not render in the review in the preview. You might have to wait till this goes live. So eventually when I put this site live, you'll see what it looks like. So we've got that. We've got the photos. Let's see here. I'm going to put those photos as, let's see here. I'm going to use this. Let's see here. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to place it here, and I'm going to tell it, use this photo as the photo for storage in Syracuse block section. And there you go. It said use this photo. I use this photo for the Syracuse location card, so I put it in there. So now we're going to use a different photo. And we're going to say use this photo for the Cicero location card. Let me try something else. No, let's go one at a time. And the way Lovable works is you get charged every time you have a conversation, but you get several conversations, right? So you want to try, that's why you want to try and map out your prompts. That's why I'll give you the prompt that I was using for this and the structure. And all credit goes to the guys over at Semantic Mastery. I didn't make this structure up. This is something that they've tried and tested, and I learned from them and applied it to self-storage, and it works great. If you really thin the facility page out and just keep it bare bones and make sure you got all your site structure and schema in place. Like I said, I'll do another video about schema and how to build it, put it in place. But this structure works really well. So we're going to do that here, and we'll get the next one ready. I'm going to say, while this is thinking, you can load it up and ready to go. And you can just say, use this photo for the storage in Manlius location card. And like I said, we're putting storage photos right here, but I would put geographically relevant photos that you get off of Google hosted photos of things in these cities. And that will get the last one here. I'm going to say, use this photo for the storage in DeWitt location card. I'm just going to pause here. All right, then you got your last one. And another note up here is right now it's got your town self-storage. We can put a logo up there as well. In fact, we can go to Fal and we can go to, we're going to do 16 by 9. And we're just going to go in here and we're going to, please give me a self-storage facility logo. The name of the facility is Your Town Self-Storage. I need a clean, modern logo featuring a self-storage door and a lot. The color palette should be Kansas City blue. And that's going to give you 4, and just going to hit run. And that's going to give you the aspect ratio we need to put it in that spot instead of having the name. But you could keep the name if you don't have a logo. It doesn't matter. But look how this is a pretty clean site. It's mobile optimized. Getting a little long with this video, so I'm probably going to break it up. We'll do the size guide and how I get that from using Claude. It's just code. And then we'll do a whole other video on the content and how to put the content on the page, where we get the content, where we get the keyword structure, where that's put on there. But I think we covered quite a bit in this video on the structure itself. The site is, some people say the site is pretty lean and on content. And I would say, yes, it is. It's meant to be that way. I understand there's some other SEOs out there that might disagree with me, but we just tested it. I tested the structure in several different markets. We've tested putting more content on the site, and it's just right now, I think there's just so much content being produced right now because of AI that Google's get your structure, get your schema right, and make sure that your content is semantically relevant to the area and the niche. And we're going to give it to you. But that's, again, this is SEO for search engine. AEO is a whole different ballgame for AI. If you've seen some of my other videos, We'll do a video on how we set up that so you can produce the content needed and put it where it needs to be in order for you to get your, yeah, there we go. Cool. So we're going to grab one of these, grab this one, and we're going to go back to Lovable, and we're going to use this. And then we're just going to say, please use this as the logo in the top left header in place of the Your Town self-storage text next to the navigation menu. We could probably go to edit mode. There we go. Actually, I want to see what it does here. So we're going to, we're going to, and like I said, you can use Replit for this. You can use Google AI Studio. If you've got a Workspace account, Google AI Studio is free. I know a lot of people who are using Lovable right now. This is one of the things you can do with Lovable. Lovable is a full stack web app builder. We built several apps on Lovable for some of our customers and especially internally. But I wanted to demonstrate how you can just talk to the AI, give it, see how it just, there's your link. We can make it bigger and you can just click on it, visual edits. It's still editing. So give me a second here. Sometimes you don't, I'm crazy. Save and changes. Okay. So now you can go visual edits, click on it. Please increase the size of this by 30%. Probably not big enough, but you get the idea. You can go back in there and you can double the size and it would get there. And I'll probably do that before we do the next video. But so far we've got, you can click up here and you can see all the pages. They got Cicero, Manlius, self-storage, and then it's got the locations prefix, got the size guide. The only thing it doesn't have in here per the prompt that I see is the FAQ, but we can actually add the FAQ page. It's easier to add if you actually have the FAQs. But I'm probably going to cut that off here because we got a pretty decent site. So we've gone over, just to recap, building the site using a prompt. And the reason we're building the site is, here's the stack. So we've got the site architecture, which I showed you, which is here. It's a simple architecture. You won't see a blog page in here. We could add a blog page. I use something different for the blog page, and we can go over that if you want to see it. But you've got a clear prompt. I showed you the prompt, which is here, it's a page and a half, and it's just very direct, telling it exactly what I'm looking for. And then you've got the AI builder. You can use Lovable, Replit, or Google AI Studio. StorSync is going to connect your page to your facility management software and also offer a bunch of other cool stuff. What we ran into is that we've got several owners who have ways of doing things that they've done for a while and things that they want to use. And some of the facility management software just doesn't provide it. So StorSync bridges the gap between your facility management software and a bunch of apps. We can hook it to Slack, Gmail, and we've got a bunch of We've got pre-built templates for Slack, Gmail, NNN, OpenAI. You can connect it directly to OpenAI, take your facility data. If you got a GPT, you can connect it there. It's just a really easy way to bridge the gap between your facility management software and everything else you really want to use. It's been really great for our clients, and we want to introduce it to everybody. And then you've got the CRP, which connects your rental, and it houses it in the site so you can actually get some ROI. And I showed you how to use Fal to get your logos and photos using all the different AI software, image producers, really cheap. So you got Fal, and then there's another one called Kai, K-I-E, you can use. And then let's see here, if you got your interlinking, then I showed you how to get your embed for your Google business and your reviews using Agentive reviews. And yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here and then link it all with your mega footer. The next one we're going to go over is probably the size guide and just hosting it. So I'll show you how to host your site with Lovable and then on a GitHub repo so that you can actually make changes and test the site and review the site and then upload it. Stick around and we will see you in the next video. Hopefully this helps. But this is just another way that you can become your own webmaster.